Happy Coffee Talk Monday. Dr. Michelle coming at ya. How are ya? How was your spooky trick-or-treat weekend? Well, mine was good because Halloween's my birthday, so I turned 56 on Saturday. Yeah, it was a good birthday. So I'm not really here to talk about my birthday per se, but birthdays in general, I'm here to talk a little bit about because they tend to be similar to New Year's resolutions, where we reflect a little bit and then we set these big, huge, sweeping goals. And then again, we don't really meet them. And then the next birthday comes and we're like, oof. So I don't really want to talk about goal setting, although goal setting is part of this. Getting in the habit of setting goals on a more consistent basis and having those small goals, right? Not those big goals, but small bite-sized roadmap goals that help you get to the larger goal. I don't really also want to talk too much about mindfulness, but being present in the moment and aware of what's happening so that you can make changes and act and respond to things is also pretty important. But maybe what is a little bit more important to talk about today is the self-reflection piece. I am a huge proponent of self-reflection. I think it's part of the growth mindset, just kind of figuring out what's working, what's not working, how do I grow, expand, make changes. And it's not an obsessive thing, right? It's not like I sit around all day long and self-reflect on what's going on. But self-reflection, it seems to be part generally of birthdays and of like New Year's resolutions, which, I sort of think of those things as very similar, right? There's these moments in life where we decide we're going to think about where we're at and what we want to do different, which is great, by the way. But I'm suggesting that maybe we do it a little different. Yeah. So again, like learn to be a little bit more mindful on a daily basis, learn to set goals that we want to reach on a daily basis, and self-reflect on a daily basis. Wow, it seems like a lot when I say it, but it's really not once you learn how to incorporate it into your life. You've probably heard me talk about how, like, when you're mindful and you have goals and you're sort of self-reflecting along the way, it just helps keep you moving forward and not feeling stuck. You know that feeling of feeling stuck? I have felt that feeling of feeling stuck many, many, many times myself. But I really find when I can, be mindful, self-reflect, then I can set different goals or think about what I want to do different as I'm sort of moving along versus like once or twice a year. Yeah. So birthdays are a good time to reflect, for sure. But if we wait just for birthdays or just for New Year's resolutions, then we're letting like a whole year pass us by. And this is a similar conversation I have with clients, right? If we can't be a little more mindful during a tennis match, then games pass us by, sets pass us by. Same on, the basketball court, points pass us by, baseball, football, golf, right? Like when we're stuck in a moment, life is still going. So the more we can develop that ability to recognize and be a little bit more present, then we're able to like make changes and not really be in that stuckedness place so much, so often. And again, don't get me wrong, I still have those moments of being stuck, even though I'm aware that they're happening. I'm like, what to do about this? And so, you know, I've sort of talked about this with like, tied it back to birthdays, but that also doesn't like put so much heavy emphasis on like those days, you know, like birthdays and New Year's, right? Sometimes those days can be like, ugh, what am I going to do different this year? Rather than like, as you're moving through the year, thinking about, reflecting on change. And of course, if you aren't sure how to make that change, then getting support with that can be really helpful, rather than letting a whole year and then another year and another year. Getting support for that change so that you can get out of that stuckedness and continue to move forward. I've been having a lot of conversations lately with people, which is so great. I love having conversations with people. And we, you know, go back to talking about how helpful books are around making changes in mental skills and coping skills. And here's what I say, and you've probably heard me say this before. Books are great. I've written a few myself. And all of them have tidbits of information. And tidbits that resonate, right? Because I think a lot of times we choose books that resonate. And sometimes we go, oh, I can take that, I can use it. But what usually happens? We forget about it. Or we try one thing and it doesn't work. And then we say, forget it, done with that. Or we try one thing, we say forget about it, we try something else, we say forget about it, and then we forget about it, right? That's the human condition. Not just for you, for me, for all of us. If something doesn't work, we scrap it, right? Well, yeah, but then like sometimes we don't give it enough chance, enough opportunity. So this thing we call change, which is why we hire a personal trainer, we hire a nutritionist, we hire a therapist, we hire a performance coach. There's a process to it. It's not rocket science, but there is a process to it. And if you want to make effective change, then going through the process can be really helpful. So, I don't know if you can now think about birthdays and New Year's in a slightly different way. But if you can, I think that in and of itself would be really, really helpful for you. And if you can't, going back to my YouTube on goal setting will be really, really helpful for you. Because then it will help you to figure out, how do I sort of plot my course here? Well, so I have to say, I didn't really self-reflect on my birthday. Well, other than to think about the things that I'm very grateful for. And one of those things that I'm grateful for is the fact that you are here every Monday with me. I so appreciate your support. Thank you. Happy fall. Happy Monday. And I will see you again next week. Take care.